Let me begin by this session on report writing. I will try to touch upon the basic fundamentals on report writing, and then I will share with you some formats also, lab report and project report and some of the reports. And I will give you a very detailed format also. And I will request all the participants, especially the head of departments of various departments in various institutions, that I will be dealing with a detailed format, and in your respective department, for example, the department of mechanical engineering, department of electronics engineering, or any department, or at the institute level, you formulate a policy and decide the formats, maybe at institute level, maybe at the departmental level. Let there be standardized reports coming from the institutions. Well, friends, report writing is a very important aspect of developing the appropriate skills in the students. I always say that reports are the mouthpiece for the good you are doing for the public. I always try to ask a question: how do you know that IITs or IIMs or AIMS or MIT in USA or Stanford, I'm naming some of the institutions, how do you know that they are doing good? You have not visited MIT, and some of you might not have visited all the IITs or maybe any one of the IITs, and some of you might not have visited even IIMs. How do you know that these are the very good institutes? I always say that CSIO के अंदर एक इंस्टीट्यूट है चंडीगढ़ में, इंडोसिस इंस्टीट्यूट, आपने बहुत सारे पॉलिटेक्निक से सबने सुना होगा उसका नाम भी, और मफतलाल इंस्टीट्यूट इन बॉम्बे, Maharashtra. How do you know that these are the good institutions? How do you come to know? Anyone from my studio, friends? How do you come to know that this is, we say that, okay, this is a very good institute. How do you come to know about it? Yeah, somebody has reported it to you, maybe formally, maybe informally. The good work the students are doing in an institute go a long way in developing the name for the institute. Before I go to the report writing, let me begin by giving you one or two examples here that will set a base foundation for my whole talk here. One of the boys at IIT Kanpur, a second year boy in civil engineering, at IIT Kanpur, he has not undergone any formal course or subject in civil engineering. Up to first year, everything is common. Even in IITs also, they teach you a lot of applied sciences, physics, chemistry, mathematics, graphics, that is your drawing, your workshop practice, your mechanics, solid mechanics they call it, and there are some other subjects like psychology, economics, and other things. They call it HSS, humanities and social sciences subjects. Now this boy, when he was trying to explore what is happening in the world, in his room, in the hostel room, he suddenly come across a website, a challenge given by a construction company in Chicago in USA, which was designing a bridge. They wanted to build a bridge and they were in the process of designing the bridge. He came across the website and there was a challenge the company has put forth to anybody in the profession, that whosoever will give us the most efficient design for this bridge, we will reward him suitably. Now imagine this boy is sitting in the hostel and he just come across this website and he come across this challenge, and suddenly it strike it just happened to him. He had a this idea that why can't I make an attempt? I am going to be a civil engineer. But imagine, second year boy having not undergone any formal training in civil engineering, he goes to his professor, Professor S.K. Jain. I know him very well, very well. Now he is the director at IIT Gandhinagar in Gujarat. My job has and my because of my interest, I happen to visit to almost all the IITs every now and then. I had the opportunity to visit all the IITs, and now I know a couple of the professors, especially in the civil engineering. He goes to Professor S.K. Jain, who was earlier in IIT Roorkee also for some time, and then he says कि सर ऐसे ऐसे करके ये प्रोजेक्ट आया हुआ है, एक चैलेंज है, and can I make an attempt? Dr. Jain didn't say that you are not capable of designing a bridge. It is very challenging bridge. He said कि why not? Go ahead. Whatever assistance you require, I'll provide it to you. And if you require any of the team members from the seniors and juniors, there are no first year, second year, third year in IITs, for example. Let me tell you about the curriculum. A second year boy may be taking some classes with a fourth year, or a first year student may be opting for a subject which is being taught in the postgraduate. A postgraduate student may be taking some class with the first year students also. There is a lot of flexibility in the curriculum offerings there. This is a system over there. And they have taken the system from MIT. IIT Kanpur and BITS Pilani, they have taken the system from MIT in USA. Basic fundamentals of their curriculum. And with passage of time, within the deadlines given by the company, to cut the whole story short, this boy put forth his design to the company. And his design was having something like 74.8 efficiency in the bridge. You know how to calculate the efficiency. And the first prize was given, which was having some points, 75 points, some points were there for the first boy. But nevertheless, this boy gets the third prize. All over the world, people had, submitted their projects. And and then they sent some, some cash award and some books and some other things, knowing very well that he is a student at IIT Kanpur, this company, and with the offer letter that you can join us anytime. Whenever you are done with your course program, you can join with us anytime. Why I'm sharing this? This is actual, case. This is I'm not saying something that that is imaginary or hypothetical. Actually, this happened, and I am witness to that, personally witness to that. And why I'm sharing this thing on the subject of report writing, how a company in USA, which is in the business of constructing the bridges, come to know that IITs are good. Through the report, through the project report, this boy has submitted to that company. Besides the technical things, the formats and everything were of some standard. When we say that A institute or B institute is world class, it means that the students from that institute can find placement anywhere in the world. We just cannot boast that I am producing a world class engineer or a doctor or any other lawyer in my institute. When we say that a majority of the students from IITs or from AIMS or from IIMs go abroad, because they produce the students world class, and world know them through the works which they are doing while they are students themselves. Are you with me on this? Is the message clear to all of you? This is this small case I just shared with you to tell you that the importance of report writing. And also remember, when our students are placed in the industries, every day they have to write the reports. Yes or no? Depending on the type of industries, some industry may be requiring to report hourly. Some industry may require the students, the employers to report daily. Some industry, depending on the works, depending on the logistics of the industry, some of the industries, they may require them to report weekly or fortnightly, maybe technical reports, maybe non-technical reports, and sometimes monthly, sometimes in a 6 months or 1 year, they have to continuously write the reports. So while they know that the students are expected to write the reports when they will be employed, they like to see when they come for the placement how good you are in the report writing. In the institutions like, I mentioned just now, IITs, the NITs, there is a subject on report writing right in the first year itself. And the students are given a standard format for everything, whether it's a lab report, the project report, the workshop report, any kind of report, tutorial, the format, the logistics are very clear that I have to follow this format. I have to write the references using APA format or whatever format you want to use. That standardization is the aim which I am forcing after this session is over. I know of a company, I can tell you the name of the company also, Neogen. They are manufacturing chemicals. That company is based in Thane in Mumbai. मुंबई के पास एक थाने है, जगह का नाम, वहां पर एक कंपनी है नियोजन. वो कुछ केमिकल्स बनाते हैं which is exported all over the world. One of the topmost companies in the chemicals. They supply chemicals to the Ranbaxy and some of the pharmaceutical companies in India also. Basically, they are dealing with bromide based chemicals, but then they are having other chemicals also. But their mastery is on that. And I know the owner very well. He is IIT Mumbai pass out, and his son both of them, they are in the business. I happened to visit their company, and when I was going to the various sections of the company, the person who was looking after some of the plant, who was looking after the plant, they were minute to minute reporting to the person in the quality control center and in the R&D center, because they were making some experiments that यदि हम ऐसा करेंगे, chemical change करेंगे, ऐसा change करेंगे, फिर क्या होगा. The whole team from the shop floor to the quality control center to the R&D center, they were working in one unison. And then the person who was actually doing, उन्होंने प्रोटोटाइप तो पहले एक्सपेरिमेंट कर लिया था लैब के अंदर. नाउ दे वांटेड टू एक्सपेरिमेंट इट इन द लार्ज स्केल बिकॉज द मैन्युफैक्चरिंग हैज टू गो, द प्रोडक्शन हैज टू बी डन, एंड they were to supply that material to Japan. And you know very well that Japans are the most stringent in the quality control. If you have the order from Japan, then you have order from all over the world. They accept zero error in their productions. So they were making this, and the person on the shop floor was reporting to both the quality control as well as the R&D. How frequently can you imagine? After every few minutes. After every 2-3 minutes, सर टेम्परेचर इतना हो गया, सर प्रेशर इतना हो गया, सर इसका ये जो उसका कंटेनर है उसका ये हो गया. When I was there, I was by chance there, and everybody was wearing जैसे आपके एस्ट्रोनॉट्स होते हैं ना, वैसी उस तरह के ड्रेस पहन के वो ऐसे काम कर रहे थे वो इंडस्ट्री के अंदर. My dear friends, what I'm sharing with you is, when this person is going to, let us say, go for the placement to any engineering college or any polytechnic college, he would like to see how proficient your students are in reporting. Because if your reports are wrong, the whole thing can go wrong. And the reports are, something which is telling about your institute. Your name is attached. My dear friends, let me now, with this small preamble, let me now go in the details of how to write a good report. I will talk to you about the meaning of the word report. types of reports, essentials of report writing, 5 Ws and 1 H model. Normally, this model is used all over the world in the industrial setup. 5 Ws and 1H model. I would like to share with you so that you can tell your students when they are going for the interviews, this model is in their mind. It's a very simple model. We'll talk about that. Then characteristics of a good report, structure of a report, format for progress and lab reports. Let me see how much we can cover in this 1.5 hours. Now, coming to the word report, I would like to go to one of the centers to know what is the meaning of the word report. If you know the meaning, the whole structure, everything will be in place. I like to always go to the rudiments, the fundamentals, that if you know this thing very well, then everything is taken care of. Maybe we can go to Government Mahila Polytechnic, Jaipur. Ma'am, sir, anybody can tell me that what do you understand or what do you think is the meaning of the word report? Before we go in the details of report writing, if you understand the meaning of the word report, your 80-90% job is done. I want one volunteer to come from Government Mahila Polytechnic, Jaipur, and let me know. I am not expecting a very definite, and I mean, there's no, if you Google on the word report, there will be maybe hundreds of entries in the. What is your idea? What do you think is the meaning of the word report is? Yes.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Report writing is simple phenomena. If we take a training at somewhere, if we do a research work at somewhere, we have to summarize our work. What we do at industrial visit, what we do at industrial training.
My friend, what is the meaning of the word report? What do you think the report is?
Report, whatever you do there, you have to report what you do there.
Yes.
A summary of that work is called report. Okay. You have to report someone that you take some training or you take some, you do some industrial visits there, okay, and you tell your seniors, you tell your boss that what you do there. That is report.
Thank you so much. You are very right. In one context, I will come back to you again, maybe, sir, or maybe some other centers. Let me, for the paucity of the time, I like to go further on this. The word report is derived from the Latin word reporter, which means to carry back. Re means back. Porter, you know porter? At the railway stations, at the bus stands, at the airports, you have the porters who carry the load for you. If you are carrying a lot of luggage, you hire a porter there. Isn't it so? The word report has come from the Latin word reporter, which means carry back. So what are you carrying? You're carrying back some information for a person who was not present at that site. Just now, my friend from the Jaipur said, the person has done some work in the industry. Now he's reporting it to you. He's carrying that, whatever has happened there, back to you. He's carrying that back to you and telling you that what has happened. Is it clear to everyone? So it's a very simple term. Okay. It can be a story. It can be an actual work or in any case or anything. It can be anything. Okay. The reporters on the television, they report you what has happened anywhere in the world. The accident has happened near Kanpur the other day, Indore Express. The reporters in the television was trying to tell you, you were not there. You were not at the site. They were carrying back that information for you and telling you what is happening and what has happened and what has not happened. Isn't it so simple as that? So if you know this very well, now the whole thing becomes very easy for me to explain it to you. Let me try to now define definition of the word report writing. It is a description of an event carried back to someone who was not present on the scene. I am conducting this 5-day program. During the valedictory session, our director may come here. I will be reporting to him, sir, this is how we have done in 5 days. He was not here for 5 days. Isn't so? Some of you who are present here will go back and tell your HODs or your principal, we went to NITTT at Chandigarh, this is what we have learned from there. So you are reporting. It can be a formal or informal report. It can be written or unwritten report. Isn't so? Every day in the evening when you go home, you report to your wife or the working wife to your parents or your husband, how was your day in the office? So you are reporting to him or her. And I'm reporting to my boss every day, your seniors. But you have to put attendance or anything. It means you're reporting to him or her that what I am trying to do, what I have done by the day. And we are aware of the annual confidential reports also. We write annual confidential reports. Yes. Appraisal reports in the industry, they call it. Then a report is normally a formal communication. I am using the word formal, normally. A formal communication written for a specific purpose. There is a purpose for that. Purposeless reporting nahi hoti. When somebody is giving you news that Indore Express has derailed or something, what's the purpose? I mean, why should they tell you about it? Think about it. Maybe some of you might be having some relative or friend traveling by the train. They do not know. Or maybe you would like to help the persons who are feeling the problems there. Depending on this thing, they are trying to report it to you. There is a purpose. And normally it is a written report, but I am not restricting it here. Normally it is a written report, but there are so many reports which are orally done. Orally done also. Oral reports are also done. But for our practical purpose, in our technical institutions, we normally have the written formal reports of the projects, of the lab reports, of the workshops and all. So that's why I have taken this definition. A report is a communication. It is also a communication. Yes, it is a communication from someone who has some information to someone who wants to use that information. In a very simple term, I try to simplify the things from all the Google research I did on the report writing. I could come up to this. I am going to supply you in my CD, which I have given to my participants here and to my friends in the nodal centers. If you want to note certain things, you can note it down, but then try to focus while I'm sharing it here. I am going to provide you a detailed handout which will be covering this and much more than this on every topic. Don't worry about that part. Okay. Importance of report. Report writing develops the power of, it develops certain competencies in the student. When they are writing the report, they develop certain competencies. Now let us try to see what are those competencies broadly. Discrimination, that is analysis. Analytical abilities are developed in the student when they write the report. Yes or no? When you are writing a report, you are analyzing the thing and then you are writing. So it is developing the analytical abilities. You know how to discriminate between one thing to the other. Let us say if I am done a project and I choose certain materials, certain processes, then I am trying to analyze and discriminate. मैंने ये वाला material क्यों use करा? Why I have chosen this material? Why not? What are the other alternatives? So in my report, I'm telling, or I've chosen a particular process. Why this process? Why not other process? All right. So this is the developing the analytical abilities. You have to justify everything in the report. Then it also helps you in developing the organization. A report is an organized document, especially the written reports, formal reports, they are the organized document. So this develops the ability of how to organize yourself, how to organize the things in the students. Then the third thing is judgment. Judgment or decision making. Decision making, my dear friends, is one of the capabilities which is required from every engineer. On the site, on the shop floor, every day, when you are employed in industry, you have to take decisions. And in the report, you are taking decisions, judgment. When there are other aspects which are developed in the student, those are communication and many other important traits. Now, why I have included this slide in my presentation. Now, if a industry is coming to your college, your campus, for the placement, what are they looking for in your student? Beyond all this, but I have mentioned it here. If your boy is able to analyze, he is able to organize, he is able to take decisions, and he is able to communicate well, there is a placement for the boys. So these are the benefits of a good report writing. If you standardize this, and the good institutions are laying a lot of emphasis on the report. That's why on the first day, Dr. Punia also mentioned that this particular aspect should be taken care of very well. Now, a word about the types of reports. There can be oral and written reports, informal and formal reports, informational, interpretive, and routine reports. Now, give me some example of routine reports. Any one of you from my friends in the studio, what are the routine reports? Every day we put the attendance, which is used sometime for your salary calculation or some other purposes. There's always a purpose behind it. It's not like that attendance lagani. To ensure that everybody is in order, house is in order, now we can start working. Attendance lagana is the routine report, or a report which I'm not restricting you from giving example from the college. Maybe in the newspapers, maybe in the radio. Every day reports are coming. Some of them routine reports. Every day weather reports are coming. Routine. Formal and informal reports. Formal reports and informal reports. There is a word called grapevine. Anybody can tell me the meaning of the word grapevine? Okay, let's see if they are able to listen to us now. Chaudhary Devilal Institute at Pundiwala. I have asked the question, what do you mean by the word grapevine? In context with, I'm talking about the formal and informal reports. Okay, we can go to some other institute, maybe Cordia. Cordia, can somebody tell me the meaning of the word grapevine? Grapevine is a very important channel for communication. Grapevine is very important channel for communication. I'm giving you the hints. दिल्ली से बात करते हैं, चलिए. इंदिरा गांधी दिल्ली टेक्निकल यूनिवर्सिटी फॉर वुमेन. मैम. यस मैम. मैम आप आपने सुना वर्ड ग्रेपवाइन?
हेलो.
हेलो, हाँ जी मैम.
हाँ जी सर. प्लीज वी वर नॉट एबल टू.
Anyone from Delhi, have you heard the word grapevine?
Yes, please. I just called somebody to.
Okay, somebody is coming. Okay.
Yes, sir, we have heard about this word grapevine.
हाँ जी.
Yes, sir, we have heard about this word grapevine.
इसका मीनिंग क्या है?
I think it's some climber. It's a
What did you say, sir? Grapevine.
Yes, ma'am, grapevine.
Grapevine.
That's basically grapevine is a what do you call it? It's a shrub. It's a climber. It's climber grapes.
Okay. okay. Joji. It's all right. It's all right. You know it, man.
That doesn't follow the set norms, and there no it goes beyond the protocol, and
Okay.
it's just by word of
Yeah, you are very close to that. Grapevine is, if I translate in a simple word, it is like called rumors. Hello, ma'am.
Hello.
Hello, Hanji, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Let me go further on this. This word has come to me because I was trying to explain to you formal and informal reporting. In the industries, in the many companies, as I mentioned just now, the word grapevine means sort of rumor. Sort of rumor. As you said, word of mouth. Okay. In the industries and in any organization, grapevine is a sophisticated word for rumor. It's not exactly a rumor. Sophisticated word. They use this channel of communication very intensively. Very intensively. For example, if I want to communicate something to my employees as a MD of an organization, I can formally inform them or I can informally inform them. Certain things I want to inform them not informally, but I want everyone to know about it. So what channel I will use? Grapevine.
Is there any difference between rumor? Because rumor is something.
Rumor is something which is not baseless. It may be true, it may not be true.
But in case of grapevine, it may be true.
It is deliberately done. It is deliberately done. It is deliberately done for a specific purpose. In the management, we use the term very often. All right. Why I am using this word for the report writing is that before you start disseminating some information, you are trying to assimilate certain information also. Through the grapevine, you also come to know the health of your organization. People will come and informally report to you. I will go to my director, sir, this is what is happening in the classroom. वहां पे एक मैंने देखा, आज मैं गया था स्टूडियो में, वहां पे टाइल के अंदर एक होल था थोड़ा सा. I do not want to report it, give me a formal report, but it is not a humor also. It is a informal grapevine, and sometimes I don't want कि मैं जाके बोलूं उनको. मैं उनके पीए को, उनके पीएन को ऐसे बाएं दाएं से करके, I want somehow that this information should be reported to the head of the institute or head of the organization or the concerned person. Are you getting my point now? Is it clear to everyone? So to assimilate and to disseminate, we use grapevine, and it is very close to informal reporting. And it is a very important tool. We may not realize it. You won't come to know. Even पुराने ज़माने में भी, in olden times, the kings used to change their disguise. वो disguise में आते थे, and then they used to come to know what is happening in my kingdom. Isn't so? Yeah. So if you want to formally take the reporting from everyone, you won't get the actual essence. The actual essence will come when you will be off guard. When you are taking your formal reporting, everybody is guards. अभी मोदी साहब चंडीगढ़ में आए, तो चंडीगढ़ was not that Chandigarh which is usual form. The roads on which he was coming, they were carpeted. उसके ऊपर बिटुमन की एक लेयर बिछाई गई, जो भी सिस्टम होता है, एंड जो जिस जगह जाता है उनकी जो लाइनिंग थी, लाइनिंग चंडीगढ़ इज अदरवाइज गुड सिटी एनीवे, बट देन if he actually wants to know how the Chandigarh city is, he has to come informally, mix up with the masses, talk to some people without telling that I am Mr. Modi. Then you come to know what are their actual feelings and all that. Isn't so? So this is what the informal reporting is about. And I give you one more example. Here, informal reporting can bring about drastic changes in the system. Formal report तो करती ही हैं, they have the purpose. I'm talking about the routine reports. Routine है, informal भी है. They can bring about revolutions in the industries, in the economics of the country also. I always like to share this example and an appeal to all my friends in the nodal centers and my friends in the studio also here. It is a sort of a, you can say, a movement I want to start, and I'm trying to disseminate that movement using this as a platform of reporting. There are two examples rather. One example, I happened to visit one of the IITs and I decided to take my evening meal in one of the hostels, in the mess of a student's mess. And when I entered the mess in the evening, I saw a whiteboard just at the back of the supervisor of the mess. Gate के ऊपर supervisor बैठा रहता है. He keeps an eye who is going and who is coming out of the mess. And उसके पीछे एक छोटा सा, maybe a little bigger than the A4 size whiteboard. वहाँ पे एक whiteboard लगा हुआ था. तो उसके ऊपर लिखा हुआ था कि मॉर्निंग ब्रेकफास्ट के बाद जो लेफ्ट ओवर था फूड टेबल्स के ऊपर वो कितना था. दैट वाज समथिंग लाइक 250 grams or 270 grams. ऑलराइट. एंड जो लंच के बाद लेफ्ट ओवर, जब आपने लंच कर लिया, सारी देयर आर 500 स्टूडेंट्स इन दैट पर्टिकुलर मेस, जब उन्होंने लंच कर लिया उसके बाद जो खाना बच गया, दे वेट एंड इट वाज मेंशन्ड ऑन द व्हाइट बोर्ड कि इट वाज समथिंग लाइक 700 grams or 600, I don't remember the figure, but it was mentioned there. It was less than a kg. I was surprised and I asked him, you write it every day? He said, it is a routine report, sir. We report it to all the people, all the students read it. And the impact of that was that in the beginning, when they started writing it, somebody thought about it. A routine informal report, written informal report. Everyone who's entering the mess, when the students are picking their trays and they are picking the foods, they are conscious कि यार हम तो 4 किलो खाना वेस्ट कर रहे हैं, हम तो 5 किलो खाना वेस्ट कर रहे हैं, हम इतना खाना वेस्ट कर रहे हैं, हम 3 किलो खाना वेस्ट कर रहे हैं. वो कहता है रिड्यूस करते 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 every day we are seeing the change and somebody is making study on this, and how much impact it is having. Can you imagine a routine informal report, what kind of changes it can bring in your daily habits, and it can revolutionize the systems. 12 किलो चल रहे हैं हुन. Can you imagine? Probably it was not there earlier. Probably I have been talking about this example in all my lectures here. Maybe somebody has taken note of it and started putting it, or maybe somebody else had thought of its own. But then this is very important, just to a reflection on you, how you are doing it. We are just reporting to you what you are doing it. Your ACR is basically nothing but then a reflection on what you have done throughout the year. Anyway, this is one example which is coming to my mind. Report writing can bring about economical reforms in any organization. How much electricity you are wasting, we can calculate and tell you that you could have saved so much of electrical bill if you had just switched off the fan. How much water you are wasting, how much food you are wasting. This is one example. The second example I want to share with you on the routine reports. Again, I am looking for the day when all over the India, at least this thing will be done. I again happened to one of the IITs, and I was interacting with one of the students there, and I was just be curious that how is the quality of the water which you drink. आप जो मेस में या कॉलेज के किसी भी जगह से पानी पीते हैं उसकी क्वालिटी कैसी है. He said that it is very safe. I said, how do you know it is safe? If I tell you that this water, why should I carry this bottle? We have a water supply here in the just across the corridor. Then why? How do you sure? You are not very sure कि वो पानी ठीक है कि नहीं. That's why we are having this bottle here. So I was just very curious, कि आपके पानी की सप्लाई कहाँ से आती है, कैसे आती है, जो पानी आपको नलके में मिल रहा है वो कैसा है. He said it's very safe. I said, how do you come to know about it? He said, every single day, if there are, let us say, 100 outlets, यदि 100 टैप हैं पानी के, they take random samples in that IIT of few of the taps, outlets, at different locations. कोई हॉस्टल में है, कोई लैब में है, कोई वर्कशॉप में है, कोई कहाँ पर है, जहां पे भी टैप हैं, सोर्स पानी का एक ही है, which is supplied throughout the campus. चाहे वो कैंपस के रेजिडेंस में है, चाहे वो प्लेग्राउंड में है, वो रैंडमली कहता है हमारे सैंपल लेते हैं. We have a public health lab. They have a civil engineering department in that IIT. We have a public health lab. The water is tested, and that report comes to us every single day on our internet, college website, and even you have a routine everyday emails also coming from different departments. That department who is responsible for this supplies us this. So we are very sure about it. Now, my dear friends, simple routine report, where as you get report of the weather कि आज सूरज इतने बजे निकलेगा, इतने बजे छुपेगा, आज इतना टेम्परेचर था, इतनी ह्यूमिडिटी थी, whatever, something like that. Every city, at least every city, every town, at least every town, every big village, at least every big village, if not small village, have a department of public health department whose sole responsibility is to provide you safe drinking water. Are they able to do that? How many of you do not have ROs in your home, or some kind of filters, or some kind of water treatment, small treatment plant in your kitchen to make sure that you consume the right water? How many of you? Probably maybe 10% or 5% of us do not have at our homes. Rest of us do not trust the public health department whose sole responsibility is to provide you the drinking water. Yes or no? Besides the taking care of your wastewater, as well as supply of the right water. Now, if every newspaper, local newspaper of every township, every city, Chandigarh में 10-12 newspaper छपते हैं, Times of India, HT, Tribune, Express, Dainik Bhaskar, you name Jagran, you name any of the big newspapers. This is coming from this city. If they give, we have so many engineering colleges and polytechnics. We have a polytechnic just across the road. We have 3 engineering colleges, and they all are equipped with the public health labs. Our institute also have the public health lab, where we have a capability of testing the water. What if the newspapers, in their routine report, inform the people that the water which we have sample of the water which we have taken from different outlets having these parameters are inconsonant with the parameter which are required by WHO or by the drinking water? If every day it comes in the newspaper, what can happen? इसके आउटकम क्या हो सकते हैं? रूटीन रिपोर्ट आएगी आपके पास. Number 1, if the water is very good, you will not spend money on this, and the plastic will be no plastics. No plastics are required, and the amount of money which you spend, something like 5,000 to 25,000 rupees on the ROs, their annual maintenance and whatnot, not required. But if the water is not safe and it is coming in the report, the public health authorities will be on the back end call of the people who are responsible for it. Isn't it so? You will go to their offices and how come you are giving us this water? Your responsibility is, we have section 39 में हमारे पास water treatment plant है पूरा, and it is their responsibility actually to take the samples and test it and tell the people. A routine report, can you imagine? Overnight, my dear friends, this can be eliminated. And it has been eliminated in many developed countries. I happened to visit USA and I asked my sister once, first time when I went there, कि पीने वाला पानी कौन सा घर में है? When I first time went there, first day मैंने पूछा कि पीने वाला पानी, वो कहती open any tap. And don't ask me this question. Don't ask this question from anybody. Anywhere in USA, you open any tap, you get a पीने वाला पानी. Why not? They have the same system which we are having in the country. Systems in place. Routine reports, my dear friends. So going further on this, I hope the message is very clear to you, how much the impact of a report can be. Now, I will very quickly now go through the essentials of report writing. Number one is issue a perspective. Whenever you write a report, there may be different perspective to an issue, but you must include all the issues, all the different perspectives. For example, something has happened in the institute or any college, a reporter comes, वो student की perspective लेके छाप देता है. Is it fair? No, he has to take the perspective of the authorities also. So, in your report, आपने क्या किया या आपने क्या नहीं किया, both the perspective unbiased should be done. Report should be unbiased. This is one very, very important thing. In a very, very objective, in a very, very authenticated way. This is number one. Number two, authoritative facts and figures. Whatever facts and figures you report in your report should be having some authority. Is a primary source, secondary source, or tertiary source, whatever the sources are. And you should not rely only on one source. Try to authenticate from the different channels. मैंने Google में देख लिया, छाप दिया. No. Try to find out, try to verify it from one person or the other. Let us say, TV में आपके पास report आती है कि ऐसा हो गया, just a hearsay, just a rumor. बाद में पता चला कि ऐसा नहीं हुआ था. So the whole credibility of the channel will be lost. One of the ethics in the journalism is that they have to authenticately report to the public what is happening. Similarly, whatever you are reporting in your documents should be authenticated, because many people will be cross-verification, many people will be using it, those data, those information for further works. With me on this? In-depth analysis. Meticulously analyzed data. यहाँ पे सबसे ज़्यादा important है, especially in the technical reports, in-depth analysis. ऐसा हुआ, क्यों हुआ? If I am not able to get the results in my experiment, it is perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine as long as I'm able to analyze why these results have come, where things have gone wrong. Instead of manipulating my results, and the teacher should also accept the wrong results, but they should also encourage the student to find out why your results are not as per the required. Maybe something wrong in the materials, processes, circuits, kahan pe koi gadbad hai. So that there the learning will take place. All right. Then alternative viewpoints, मैंने इसके बारे में बात करी, free from any hierarchical positions. Then appropriate annexures. Now at this moment, I will tell you a very important aspect of communication. In any communication, may it be oral communication, may it be written communication, specifically for the report writing, we use one sentence, a phrase in communication, that brevity is the soul of communication. Brevity is the soul of. Brevity word has come from the word brief. That yesterday or day before yesterday, somebody was telling, one of the experts were telling, if you can, my professor in English in DIV college whom I really admire a lot, he used to say, if you can say, Mr. Singla, something in a word, do not use a phrase. If you can say what you want to say in a phrase, do not use the sentence. If you can say what you want to say in a sentence, do not use paragraph. If you can say what you want to say in a paragraph, do not write essays. You will all remember this. Communication ka sense, the soul is lies in brevity. आप कितने कम शब्दों में कितने ब्रीफली अपनी बात को कह पाते हैं, that is your art of and science of communication. Communication is both art as well as science. We will talk maybe someday about on this issue of science and art also of the communication, but appropriate annexures. What happens is usually in the report, teachers as well as students have an impression that मैं जितनी मोटी रिपोर्ट लिखूंगा उतने ज्यादा नंबर आएंगे, और टीचर की टेंडेंसी है कि रिपोर्ट छोटी सी है इसको कम नंबर देना चाहिए, किसी की रिपोर्ट बहुत बड़ी है इसको ज्यादा नंबर होना चाहिए. No, my dear friends, a big no. I know of a person, because I wrote my thesis when I was doing my MTech of about 250 pages, and my guy told me to reduce it. I took almost 2 or 3 months time to reduce it to the level which he was satisfied with. And my professor was a student of Ohio University, one of the topmost universities in the world as far as hydraulics is concerned. And he told me, Mr. Singla, what are you talking about? What have you written? Who will read this your thesis? It will gather dust in the libraries. I know he was knowing a person, probably related to Einstein, probably his son, or maybe distance related. He wrote his PhD thesis of 14 pages. 14 पेज का उसका thesis था, PhD का. And the persons who came to evaluate his thesis in Ohio University, they said that 3 PhDs could have been awarded based on this thesis which this person has done. Isn't it so amazing? And here we say, जो कुछ टेक्स्ट बुक में लिखा हुआ वो भी टेप दो. No. And when I am reading a report, I am writing a report for a fools, जिसको जो बुक में लिखा है वो भी नहीं पता. So you should be not going out of the context. Keep your report very brief. Whatever information, whatever data you want to include in the report should go in the annexures. आपके tables, आपके graphs, everything. Whatever you want to say in the report in very brief and very concise manner. Is it clear to everyone? You understand the importance of annexures? And limited annexures में आपने वो सबको data डाल दिया. The continuity has to be maintained. Otherwise क्या है, मैं पढ़ रहा हूँ आपने क्या काम करा था, आपका डाटा क्या, आपका क्या एनालिसिस थे, क्या आपकी फाइंडिंग है, बीच में बहुत सारे टेबल आ गए. Who reads the table in the thesis? Let me know one person. Who reads the diagrams and the photographs? They can all go in the annexures, appropriately annexed. So that if anyone want to have actual readings and everything, can go to the annexures. Similarly, anything which is not in line with the report, in the continuous report, should go in the annexures. Sometimes the annexure should be bigger than the actual report. And certain annexures should be not put in the report at all. They should be with you, somebody, and your name is there, your contact details are there in the report anyway. So they want to have further details, they can contact you. Why not? When you write a paper, you don't put everything in the paper. Is it clear to everyone? Now, 5 W's and 1 H medal. I said, this is normally done in the industrial reports. All over the world, many of the industries adopt this model. I'll just very quickly let you know, so that your students are aware of this model. And as far as possible, try to adopt this model in your reports also, so that they are familiar when they go to the industries. Number 1, W stands for justification. What is the problem? In the report, the problem definition should be very clearly defined. I come across many reports, लेकिन उसमें यही नहीं पता लगता कि उसने काम क्या किया हुआ है. right in the first page itself, the problem definition should be very clearly, concisely, briefly outlined. What is the just and what is the just? Why are you taking up this problem at all? What was the need for you to report? Why? Your objectives, relevance, and significance. Third W stands for who? The reader, the writer, the third party. Who are the people? Everything in the newspaper is not for everybody. Yes or no? There is a 32-page newspaper. If I start reading it in the morning every day, I cannot come to the office. What to say of office? I cannot do anything in my life. I cannot even take my dinner. So who are the people? There are people for whom the sports page is important. There are people for whom certain other columns are important. So the reader, the writer, the third party, who are the people? किन लोगों के लिए मैं report लिख रहा हूं? That should be considered in the report. Then the when, time. कब आपने काम करा? Time is a very important factor in the report also. किस time में? यदि मैं आज की डेट में सैंपल लेता हूं या मैं समर में सैंपल लेता हूं, there may be variations. This defines the boundaries or the scope of the works also. When did the trouble start? मैं आज की डेट में जो इंदौर एक्सप्रेस का एक्सीडेंट हुआ था न्यूज़पेपर में और टीवी में देता हूं, does it any relevance today? It may be as a follow-up, but I do not put it as a breaking news. You are always interested to know the breaking news, not the stale news. So time is very important in the report. And the fifth W stands for the location. So justification, your significance, important objectives, the persons involved, time and location. These should be essential ingredients of any report. Then the last element is H stands for how to report. There has to be standard formats for that. How to report. And it can be grapevine, it can be formal, it can be informal. How to report? It can be routine, it can be written, or it can be oral report. How it has to be reported. Now I will very quickly go through this slide because this is very simple things. Characteristics of a good reports are precision, very clear, exact purpose, very clear. Nothing is left to ambiguity, doubt, anywhere in the reports. Accuracy of facts, I told you. Relevance, reader oriented. Keep your reader. In any communication, your target audience is the most important factor. In the report, यदि मेरी रिपोर्ट को कोई टेक्निकल बंदे पढ़ने वाले हैं या जनरल मासेस पढ़ने वाले हैं, the language, the description and everything will be different then. If I know that I have done some work in the area of fluorides in the water supply, I mean, a common person may not be knowing कि मेरे पानी में fluoride है कि क्या नहीं है. It's a different language. But if I'm writing a thesis or a technical report for a professor, for a university, for the HOD, it's a different thing. Then objectivity of recommendations. Whatever you are recommending in the report, there should be objectivity in that. It should not be just hypothetically. Why I am reporting this? Then simple and unambiguous language. I told you about that. Grammatically accurate. Here I would like to pause for a minute and share very important information with all of you. And if you can implement that in your colleges, it will be very good. You have your English teachers in most of the colleges. And even if you do not have English teachers, or even if you have the English teachers there, I would suggest that your prominent reports should go through the eyes of somebody who can do editing from the language point of view. So that your people, on the first day, Dr. Punia was talking about it, when I am reading a thesis or a pre-thesis report, I should not be confused, about the spelling. मैं बच्चों को spelling या grammatical error नहीं करवाऊं. मैं देखूं उन्होंने जो technical काम करा उसके ऊपर मैं अपने comments दूं. But before it comes to me, it should go through the eyes of somebody who is expert in proofreading and editing. And that person may not be knowing much about the technical subjects, may or may not be. And in our institute, many of our students nowadays, they get their reports, their theses and other things, through some people in the market. They charge some nominal money and then they edit it for them. And this can be done very easily. In many colleges, they do it like that. Clarity. I will not now go further on brevity because we have already covered it. Brevity is very important in the report. These are the steps in preparing any report: investigating the sources of information, taking notes, analysis of the data, making an outline, writing the report. These are the steps. And I would just like to give one tip here, very, very important tip on this slide. The most important thing is that whenever we are writing a paper or any report or anything we want to write, first few words, first few sentences are the difficult ones. Where to start, what not to do. And here, if you look at this, the fourth point is making an outline. आप एक outline बना लीजिए, जो आपके माइंड में आइडिया आता है वो लिखते चले जाइए, just sketchy outlines, and then you will find it is very easy for you to write the reports. आपकी report writing की quality भी अच्छी हो जाती है और आपको लिखने में आसानी भी हो जाती है. If I want to write an essay, मेरे को कुछ पहले वर्ड नहीं सूझ रहे होते, तो कुछ आइडियाज हैं मेरे माइंड में. If I just write those ideas as the outline of my essay and then I start writing an essay, it becomes much easier for me. Isn't it so? This is so very true for any reports also. I will not skip this slide because the next slide is most important. Structure of a report. As I mentioned in the beginning, that structure is not a standardized structure which I'm going to present to you. This structure is a very elaborate, very descriptive structure. You, in your departments, in your institute, can hold academic meetings and decide what structure we will follow. I am giving you this structure, keeping in mind that you will have all the elements. Out of all the elements which should be part of your report in your department, depending on your reports in your college, you can choose those elements and say, okay, we will have these 12 things in the report. We will have these 5 things in our report. Yes? So don't get boggled by कि प्रोफेसर साहब ने 15 पॉइंट दे दिए, इतनी बड़ी रिपोर्ट बन जाएगी, ऐसा हो जाएगा. No, out of this you can choose. First of all, there are 3 elements in the report. You divide the whole report into 3 parts: front matter, main body of the report, then the back matter. Back matter may normally annexes and other things will come. We'll just discuss about it. Front matter, main body, and the back matter. What should go in the front matter? We will talk about that. Okay. Cover. Starting with the cover. Normally, in technical reports, we prefer to have white or some soft neutral colors. Maybe white, maybe off-white. But I am not saying that all the reports should have only these colors, but technical reports की बात कर रहे हैं अभी हम लोग. On the front matter, I said the cover. आ गया? Okay, then the front piece is a small diagram or a graph or any picture on the cover itself. A photograph, a map, artistic drawing, whatever is on the cover should be very carefully put there. You know why it is so important? Let's say if you are going to the market and you do not know the exact author and the exact title of the book, how will you pick up the book from the bookshelf? And your teacher, your professor, or maybe in the university, if there are 100 reports, which reports you will pick up first to read? Maybe, you know, this is something very attractive. Okay, the title page, subtitle, name of the author, name of the authority for whom the report is written, standard format I'm talking to you, the front matter should go there. Then contract or project or job number. If it is a progress report, usme if a contract ka number, the project or the job number has to be mentioned, because I was working in a university, so there it was very essential. Kaun si job ki baat kar rahe hain aap? That has to be done. Then approvals. Yes, somebody has to approve what you have done. Then distribution list. Normally this is missing in our reports, but it should be part of the report, that you should say that this report maybe go to so and so place, so and so place, so and so place, so and so place. Who are the people who will be reading? Then in the front matter, you have a copyright notice. Nowadays, the IPR is very important, intellectual property rights. So copyright notices, forwarding letter, and preface. There is sometimes confusion. I'm not going to discussion right at the moment, but let me explain it to you. Confusion between forwarding and preface. Forwarding letter is written by not the author of the report or any document. Forwarding letter is written by somebody else who is an authority on that subject. It is a sort of a recommendation for the people. If I have to, let us say, go and buy a book in the market, I like to read the forward always. That who has read it and who has recommended it. Normally in the novels, it is given on the cover, back cover page. Isn't so? If you go to the market and you have no particular novel in your mind, you like to see कि इसके reviews कैसे आए हुए हैं. 2 or 3 reviews. Your forward is nothing but a review given by an expert on the subject. Preface is written by the author. What's the purpose of the preface? It gives you the journey of the whole report. It is not the whole report, it's not a summary, but it gives you journey. It facilitates you. Let us say if I have a guest in the home, मैं उनको पहले बताता हूँ कि ये bathroom है, ये kitchen है. I take them to the various places wherever they are expected to go, so that I may not take them to my study room. So your preface will tell different kinds of people for finding that information in the report suitable to different end users. Somebody may like to use only chapter 3. Somebody may like to go to the chapter 4. But in order to know 4th chapter mein kya hai, 3rd chapter mein kya hai, 1st chapter mein kya hai, I have no ways. So preface is telling me, giving me a tour of my report. Is it clear to everyone? Acknowledgements, genuine acknowledgement with the name and the type of contribution the person has done. Just not, okay, I am obliged to so and so, obliged to so and so. You are just want to oblige everyone and having no obligation. You must mention that I am thankful to so and so for his or her contribution in this manner. This strengthens your report. Then the table of contents, list of illustrations, abstract and summary. Both are different things. Abstract and summary. In our times, we used to have long abstracts of the papers and the theses also. But abstract is nothing but a concentrated form of what is there in the whole report. The purpose uska kya hai? Always know the purpose. Then things are very clear. Abstract ka purpose kya hai? Let us say if there are theses, the vice chancellor of the university will not read all the theses, but he wants to know what is happening, what kind of research activities is happening in different departments. In his time, he may write to read a few abstracts of the thesis and come to know what kind of research is done by botany department or by chemical engineering department or by this department or that department. But the summary, now summary is your HOD, your professor, your HOD in the department, who is not your guide maybe. Your guide will read the whole report, but your HOD will like to know what kind of research is going on in my department. He will not be satisfied with the abstract only, but he will like to go through the summary. Are you getting the point now clear? The difference between summary and abstract? So abstract should not be more than 1 page, 1.5 page at most. Summary can, or nowadays we call it executive summary, or some people will like to pronounce it as executive summary. They can go into 3 or 4 pages also, where the main outcomes are also mentioned. Main outcomes. For example, I did a project on for the Chandigarh administration. They wanted to establish a new polytechnic, and I wrote a DPR, detailed project report, for the administration. And I had a meeting with the finance secretary, and I told him कि सर आप इसका summary पढ़ लीजिए. गवर्नर को आप सिर्फ abstract पढ़ा देना, इसका आप इसकी summary पढ़ लीजिए, so that he knows कि report के अंदर क्या है. He doesn't have time for everything. But for the director, for other people, I said that you have to go through the whole report for executing people. Then the main body में क्या कुछ आना चाहिए? Introduction में क्या कुछ आना चाहिए? History, scope of study, your boundaries. आपने कब काम करा, किस इंस्ट्रूमेंट पे काम करा, क्यों मटेरियल यूज करे, क्या क्या लिमिटेशन थी आपकी, everything should come, and what qualification you have to undertake this study, everything should come in the introduction. Very, very briefly. Methods of collecting data and their sources. Authorization for report and terms of references. Terms of references are normally missed, but then in the industries, terms of references are very important. Terms of references, my dear friends, if you are doing a report, your student is doing a project with some industry, there the terms of references are very, very important. Terms of references very clearly specify what is your role in the project, what is the role of the ABC other people in that project. So what were the terms of references? Some people may like to call it MOUs also. So broadly, MOU may be running into so many pages, but uski jo main terms of references that can come here in the final report also. Yeah, these were the terms of references, so that people can appreciate कि data कहाँ से आया, ये कैसे आया, because किसी और ने supply करा, ये काम उन्होंने करा, ये काम मैंने करा, ये काम किसी और ने करा. Then definition of special terms and symbols in the introduction itself. If the number is very small, but do not fill up the pages in this. It can go in the annexes. I will tell you where it can go. Small. If you feel that, again, target audience, keep the target audience into mind. If you feel that somewhere this particular term has been used very frequently, and I have used this term in a different context, then people may get confusion in that. Then you try to define your own definition there. That's the purpose, or some symbols and all. Then the second important thing in the after introduction is the discussion and description. Come straight from introduction to discussion and description. Then conclusions, then the recommendations. Now, there's difference between conclusions and recommendations also. Conclusions are, I am not going to the discussions now at the moment. Conclusions are the inferences drawn by you based on the work, based on whatever you are trying to report. Recommendations are having two purposes. Number one purpose is that you are recommending somebody to take actions based on whatever you have reported. More than that, in the recommendation, you can mention that further investigations are needed by somebody. I have been able to do this much. In the recommendation, you are recommending that further investigations are needed before you take action. Either you are asking somebody to take action, or you are asking that further investigations can be done or should be done. That is basically your recommendation. Is it clear the difference between conclusion and recommendation? Yes. Then in the back matter, so that was in the main body. Back matter में क्या कुछ आना चाहिए? Appendices, or what we call them, annexes, list of references, and bibliography. Now, many people again confuse between references and bibliography. Because of the time constraint, let me very quickly tell you. References are when you are quoting somebody and reproducing as it is, verbatim, word by word, in the quote, in your report. That will come in the reference. And you must acknowledge in the back, put it in the reference number 1, 2, 3, 4. ये मैंने quote करा post office में, and then you say okay, this is the reference number 1, 2. Now bibliography is not references. बिब्लियोग्राफी में आप जो रीडर है, certain things which you have included in the report have not been quoted from the source. आपने as it उसको प्रोड्यूस नहीं करा, बट आपको रिपोर्ट लिखते समय बहुत सारा ऐसा मटेरियल भी था जिसने आपको हेल्प करी, which has helped you in writing the report or in doing the investigation of the work which you are doing, which has enlightened you, which has helped me. लेकिन मैंने उससे मटेरियल एज इट इज अपनी रिपोर्ट में रिप्रोड्यूस नहीं करा. That can come in the bibliography. The purpose of references is to acknowledge the source ethically. The purpose of bibliography is that whosoever wants to do further investigations on the work which you have done will be guided कि ये किताबें भी उसने पढ़ी थी, let me study these journals, these papers, this kind of things. Is it clear? Many times people, the students like to confuse these two terms also. So I am just explaining it to you. Okay, then the glossary. If the definitions are so many, then that can come in the annexures. The glossary, the main terms which you have used, the concepts which you have used in the report. Then the index. If possible, try to include the index. Again, keeping the user, the end reader, keep in mind index. So that if I am, let us say, interested in a particular word, in your report, मेरे को एक word की जरूरत है. Your index will tell me कि ये word page number so and so, so and so, so and so पे आया हुआ है. Are you getting my point? I can easily reach that word. The main जो आपकी terminology है, they can be indexed and put it in the report. The whole purpose of my giving you this format was that make the report reader oriented. VC से लेकर and a stranger can also read the report and should be able to draw inferences. A common man. This is basically the very, very elaborate format I have given to you. Then for references, there are two formats which are very, very popular. APA. I will not go in the details of these formats. APA and MLA format. American Psychological Association style of writing the references or the bibliography. Most of the universities and the boards specify कि report के अंदर या paper के अंदर कौन सा format use करना है. And nowadays in the Windows, the new Windows में I'm using Windows 10. उसमें दोनों format दिए भी हुए हैं, APA format and MLA format. And on the website, if you go on the Google and put APA format for writing the references or the MLA format, you get the manual. यदि एक ऑथर है, दो ऑथर है, सोर्स आपका यदि जर्नल है या आपने प्रोसीडिंग से लिया या आपने बुक से लिया, कहाँ से लिया, कितने ऑथर हैं, हाउ टू राइट दैट अंडर ए पर्टिकुलर स्टाइल, it is given. Complete manual is given. I am giving you that manuals about a year back in your CDs also, and I will send it to the people. So I will not discuss this method. And then there is a modern language association, MLA style of writing the references. I am now very briefly talking to you the formats of a progress report. Don't get led by only this, but in the industries they write the progress report in this format. They write name of the work, total work completed, date, work completed to date, work to be completed, possible date of completion, remarks if any. Simple progress report जो industries में use होती हैं. Simply they do it. I've been working in the industry, so I took this format from that industry. Project चल रहा होता है. It's for the public also. Yeah. But then in technically में इसमें फिर detail आ जाती हैं. उसमें when you are writing a technical report of the project, then you have the further details in that also. That was the public के लिए होता है बोल देते हैं. Then the signature and designation of the reporting officer. In the lab report, हमने इसी इंस्टीट्यूट में लैब रिपोर्ट जो आपकी पॉलिटेक्निक्स में या इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेज में होनी चाहिए, हमने उसका एक फॉर्मेट स्टैंडर्डाइज करा है. यू कैन वेरी इट अगेन. हमने कहा कि उसके अंदर एक्सपेरिमेंट नंबर होना चाहिए, डेट होनी चाहिए, हेडिंग और टाइटल. सम पीपल राइट इट ऑब्जेक्टिव. देन फ्यू वर्ड्स ऑन सिग्निफिकेंस एंड ऑब्जेक्टिव. देन थ्योरी रिलेटेड टू द एक्सपेरिमेंट, नॉट होल द बुक, but very, very briefly. a manual should not, a particular experiment should not exceed more than 2 or 3 pages, to my mind. So you can, understand the brevity aspect of brevity in each experimental report. Then the apparatus used, experimental setup, procedure you followed in undertaking the experiment, precautions or safety measures which you took, observations, calculations, results, and this is the most important part. In the whole of the thing, your results and discussion. Normally student इसके ऊपर बिल्कुल ध्यान देते नहीं है, वो देते हैं हमारी कैलकुलेशन ठीक होगी तो बस ठीक है. No, your graphs, why this graph has come like this, यहाँ पे क्यों dip करा, यहाँ पे क्यों हुआ, there the learning will take place. And question answer. Some questions based on that experiment should also be there in the experiment. Then the signature. Training report के या project report के हमने एक format suggest करा हुआ है. You can again verify. This is all subject to change. Name, ID number, department of, let us say, mechanical engineering or civil engineering, the department name, title of the project, date, table of contents, list of tables, list of figures, abstract, introduction, objectives and description of the training report, analysis, conclusions, bibliography, and references, appendices, glossary or index. This is what I personally recommend people, but then you can always discuss depending on the type of project which you are having. You can change, but make it a standardized one. Thank you, my dear friend. This is what I wanted to share with you on report writing.